What's up, YouTube? You know what time it is. It's your boy Jay back in effect, man. Oh, man, it's been a cool minute and I'm back up in it. Man, I took a long vacation. Nah, but for real, I had to pay bills because YouTube damn sure wasn't doing it. So, you know, your boy had to take some time off, man. But as always, I think the fuckery is at a fever pitch, and it's time for your boy to get back up in it, to start putting some perspective down, because things is getting ignorant out there, okay? Between the Ronas and all the other, craziness is going on with Capitol buildings getting hit and whatnot. It's been a wild ride. You know what I'm saying? So I've just been watching everything, how everything's been unfolding with Xbox, with Microsoft, with Sony, with the PS5, with Nintendo, and the Switch, and it's all been really interesting. But I thought it was time for me to do a Xbox discussion because nobody does it like your boy. Now, so let's just, like usual, dig right in. I wanted to say first and foremost, for all my people that that really enjoyed my content back in the day, I'm sure y'all was looking for when your boy was gonna get back on, and was he ever gonna keep this pushing? Now look, let me break it down. My I'm at the capacity of just doing these quick videos, maybe longer videos, just basically letting my voice be heard, on my perspective, because I think I have a different perspective coming into it than a lot of these other so-called Xbox guys. In my opinion, a lot of them are really milquetoast. And when I say milquetoast, I just mean that they're, they don't really, they're people who are very passive aggressive. Like they'll say things like, yeah, the Xbox Series X look like it's gonna possibly be having the most powerful console, possibly moving forward. What the hell are you talking about possible? Dude, infinitively, it is the most powerful console, period. What are we talking about? Maybe, or it's like, what do you, just stop, man. And so it's just issues like that that just really irritate me. Like the type of things, like these are not things that are arguments. It's not an argument whether or not the Series X is the most powerful console. That's empirical, bro. Okay, that's not arguable. Okay, so these type of things is really irritate me when it comes to especially Xbox guys, because if the roles were reversed and that was PlayStation with all that power, trust me, you wouldn't see PlayStation guys sitting there talking about maybe possibly the PS5 is more powerful. It's like, dude, bro, like you need to be able to, with some fucking confidence, say the obvious true things, bro. Like if you can't do that, you want some passive aggressive BS. Maybe you've been drinking too much Sony Fanboy Kool-Aid. I don't know what it is, but for me, I have to call this type of nonsense out, man. It just irritates the hell out of me. Now, I just think a lot of these guys give up way too much ground when they don't even need to. Like, for instance, when it comes to these dudes where they keep saying, I'm talking about Xbox guys, where they keep saying Microsoft possibly, possibly some of these games that Bethesda makes maybe come into PlayStation, or it might be timed exclusives for Xbox and then later. Like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, okay, please name me one fucking game that Microsoft's new acquired studios had in development. Not a game that was previously already out on PlayStation. I'm talking about games that they're currently developing that either was never announced to be on PlayStation or not announced yet. What are these games that Xbox acquired a studio for, that they produce games that then came out on PlayStation? Can you please name me one of these games? Because I don't see that any of these games exist. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, how could you... There's no precedence for PlayStation acquiring a studio, then thereafter they develop a game that then releases, then comes out on PlayStation. That hasn't happened. Okay, people point to stuff like Minecraft and all that, but those are games that already pre-exist on the PlayStation. Okay, so obvious why Xbox wouldn't stop that. I think they have a pretty good track record to allow contracts that already exist to keep existing. Another good example was the two timed exclusives from Bethesda that Sony had. Microsoft let that go. Why? Because they didn't see it was necessary to really buy them out the contract. And also, that would have been very bad PR for them. They already have this stigma of being, ooh, the big bad corporation that's coming to gobble up all your games. It's like, okay. But the funny thing is, Sony is a corporation too. And they've done the same thing when it comes to the studios they acquired. These motherfuckers literally took away Spider-Man. Nobody was saying they're a big bad corporation taking away Spider-Man. Now, did they? No. But you know what I mean? So it's like this, it's always a double standard like usual. But the facts is what they are. That this is what it is. Like, right? So, when there's no evidence of Microsoft doing that, and obviously Microsoft can't say definitively that all these games are going to be exclusive because they haven't yet completed the purchase of ZeniMax yet. So that's not something they're going to do because that's against the law for them to do, right? They cannot do that yet publicly and say that. So anything else you're saying is a bunch of speculation, or you trying to speculate on what you think Phil Spencer meant when he said on a case by case basis, or any of this other BS. And it just really gets on my nerves, man, because it just, like, instead of people, especially Xbox guys, looking at the obvious of what the facts are, no, they're sitting here drinking on Sony fanboy Kool-Aid and just bending to these stupid Sony fanboy talking points. And the sad thing is, the Sony fanboy talking point of them saying some of these games might come over to PlayStation, it's literally just a straight up distraction. That's all it is. And you know what they're distracting from? They're distracting from the fact that Sony is going to be getting their ass kicked when it comes to exclusives moving forward in the future. Why? Because Microsoft is going to have a abundance of hard-hitting AAA titles that are going to be coming down the pike. Well, these Sony fanboys don't want you to think about that. They don't want you to dwell on that. They would rather you dwell on whether or not these games may be exclusive. So you see how the narrative shifts then? The narrative shifts from all these hard-hitting exclusives that Microsoft has to, ooh, wait a minute, but are they going to really be exclusives? Now, you see, so it's like when you buy into that stupid shit, you allow yourself to be a part of perpetuating a stupid distraction, literally portrayed by these stupid Sony fanboys, and then you become a part of the problem. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is a thing that really just irritates me and pisses me off. Something that I'm seeing from a lot of these guys, man, instead of just being straight up and just looking at the facts of the matter and then speaking on it, and then having some fucking balls to just say it what it is. These fools out here, passive aggressive, oh, I don't know, and this is that. It's like, oh man, this shit. It's like, and this is the reason why a lot of times these Sony fanboys, man, they're able to run the gambit on the narratives, man, because these fucking Xbox guys are so goddamn weak and pathetic, man. And it's like, so that's my rant on that, man. That's my thing on that. Like, that's been something that's really been bugging me when this is the reason why I come out with my shit, because I'm gonna tell it like it is, and I'm gonna be strong on the facts and put aside the BS. You know what I mean? You guys already know how I get down. So, that's just one of the things that's been really, really bugging me. Now, I wanted to move on from that. I would love to hear what you guys think about that, what your thoughts and sentiments is on that. But moving on in the discussion, I wanted to talk about where I see Xbox, especially in regards to the next generation games, because there's been a lot of talk about, you guys know how the Xbox first hit the scene. It obviously, when it comes to these cross-gen games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, it obviously, when it comes to Digital Foundry, it wasn't doing so hot, right? You've seen it being in regards to the versions of the games being outperformed in the versions of the games early on. And of course, Sony fanboys hopped on that shit like woo, like flies on shit, boy. They was just right there. Oh, look, what happened to how powerful you thought your console was? What happened to it being a monster and all that? And then I'm like, man, you know me. I'm getting in the comment sections, dueling it out with these fools, letting them know you do know that this is purely optimization for the games. It has nothing to do with the power of the console, right? This is optimization. It's a difference. You know what I mean? Like, so it's and it's already a fact, okay, already been said by multiple sources. And if you look at when the dev kits was the developers had how much time that they had on the Series X dev kits, how much, and then versus how much time they had with the PS5 dev kits. So that tells you, if you look at that, you'll see that the PS5 had more than 50% more of time over the Series X. I mean, literally, they had months and months more time to work with the dev kits of the PS5 than developers had to work with the kits of the Series X. What does that do? Well, that means developers are more familiar and more accustomed to how to optimize for the PS5 versus the Series X. And that should have been obvious to anyone who look at how the generations work. This is the reason why in the first of the generation, games are not as good as what they are on the console in the middle or the ending of the generation. Okay, why? Because it takes a lot of time for developers to fully optimize to get the most that they can possibly get out of the console. Okay, so these things are facts, man. These are not debatable. These are not controversial, any of that. These are facts, bro. And if you just do a little research or just understand what the fuck you're talking about, you can obviously be able to see where these facts are, where they lie, and then be able to see when someone's full of shit. All right. So when I see this, I laugh because I was like, well, you motherfuckers gonna have egg on your face when the Series X starts mopping the floor with the PS5, later on, because obviously patches will come in and these optimizations will get better on the Series X versions, and they're gonna obviously outperform the PS5. It just takes a little time. But of course, Sony fanboys wants to continue on with this. Oh no, that's not what it is. Blah blah blah. These motherfuckers even had nerve. For those of you who know, when the Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out, it had some tearing on the Xbox Series X version, and it dropped more frames in the Series X, right? And when a newer patch came out, it actually was performing better than the PS5. It dropped less frames in the PS5, and it was actually performing a little better. And these motherfuckers had nerves to say that was Microsoft that paid off. This is how pathetic these dudes are. That was Microsoft that paid off Ubisoft to make the Sony PlayStation version worse. These are the type of clowns that we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's just like, another thing that pisses me off about Xbox guys is that they will literally talk about these nonsensical, stupid claims as if they're legitimately serious. Like, no, call them out as what they are. It's a fucking joke. It's a pathetic attempt to distract from the facts of the matter. It's sad and pathetic. And these little trolls need to take their toxic ass on somewhere. That's what you say. Not try to debate it and wonder, hey, if that's possible, the Ubisoft would do that. Like, are you fucking kidding me? What game would Ubisoft have out of doing that? What game would Microsoft have to do that? Like, wouldn't you think that if that was the case, if Microsoft was really about that, they would have just at first had their version be better than the PS5? Why would they wait until a patch had to come before they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's try. I mean, shit doesn't make no sense, dog. None whatsoever. So to sit there and debate that and talk about that as if, oh, I don't know. It's just like, hi, Xbox guys, why? Call that ridiculous, stupid, nonsensical shit out for what it is. leave it at that. Please, let's not sit here and try to debate that like that's a serious thing. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that just irritates me about these dudes, man. They shut down the nonsense, man, and just get it out of here. Don't even waste your time on that. Talk about what really matters. And what is it really matters? That shows that, okay, these dev kits, when it comes to these developers, optimizations are getting better as time goes on. That's what you should be hitting on. That's what you should be talking about, not the Sony fanboy distractions. So, you know, this is just something that just really irritated me, man, and I had to get on. And so that was just another issue. Now, as moving forward, you see that the Series X, you know, is at that point where it started to dominate. When you look at, especially when you move a little forward beyond Assassin's Creed Valhalla and look at Cyberpunk 2077, the Series X on console is the best performing version. And this is not something that was surprising to me, but funny when you see a lot of these Xbox guys, oh, they're wondering, oh, I wonder if this is going to continue, or wow, is this an outlier? No, idiot, it's not an outlier. It's obvious that this was going to happen. There's no, I don't even know why why that's even a discussion, wondering if it was going to happen. Dude, the Series X is vastly more powerful. So obviously when they're able to better optimize for it, it's just going to produce the better version. It's just as simple as that. This shit is just simple science and fucking math, man. Okay, so this is not something that we need to be, you know, talking about as if it's controversial or if this is something we don't know or gonna find. Like, ugh. But anyways, as you see, Cyberpunk 27 performed better. And the next bigger indicator has been, oh my God, Hitman had to do it. Hitman 3, right? So we move on to Hitman 3. And the Xbox, in my opinion, I mean, just looking at the stats in regards to the game and its matchup between the PlayStation and the Xbox, Series X blew PS5 out the water on this one. Man, to be running at a full native 4K along with 60 frames on that game and high shadows, okay, ultra textures, and the series, I mean, the PS5 running at a 1800, you know, which is closer to 2K than anything else, but with a 60 in medium shadows. Oh man, that paints the whole picture that you need to see. Okay, because look at the dynamics here. You got the PS5 that's had more than half of a time that developers have had to be able to optimize for the PS5 platform. Okay, you have the Series X has had a lot less time, but yet have still been able to perform at such a higher, more level. And remember, you have this on a fully next gen game, right? This is a fully next gen game here, and so it's telling you you're seeing the difference of what the power of the Series X is doing. And think about this one. Put this all into perspective. The Series X is still, even with that large, I mean, literally, it's at the performance of being right next to the high-end, most powerful graphics card that's out there right now. You know, and it's still performing on that level, you know, near and at that level. Okay, when it comes to this game, because they also compared it to PC. So think about that. Think about this. With that, they're still not using all of the features of the Series X. They're not using all Series X features. Okay, all Series X features are not even turned on yet. They're not even using the velocity architecture. They're not using, I don't believe they're using this accelerated ray tracing. I'll have to check on that and see. But as far as I know, I don't think they're using that. They're not using mask shaders. You know, they're not using machine learning. You know, all these things the Series X is capable of doing, they're not even using all those features. So this is literally just on the raw power of the Series X and the developer having more time to better optimize for the Series X version. And this is what it's producing already. So that's telling you just how far ahead the Series X really is in regards to its power dynamic and in regards to its you know, its ability to perform. And you know, you could have anyone else say where the fuck they want, but this is, to me, this is pretty clear evidence, okay? And it's as clear as day, and it should be obvious to anybody who knew what the hell they're talking about and know what's going on. To me, it wasn't a shock. I wasn't surprised. I was like, yeah, that's pretty obvious, right? So yeah, man, I just wanted to break that down. When you hear any Sony fanboys trying to distract from the issue, man, you need to hit them hard with the the cold hard facts of the matter. Don't let these fools twist you up in a knot, going different directions. No, stay focused on where the facts of the matter is, and don't let yourself be thrown off by these idiots trying to just literally distract you. Because that's pretty much your job. I mean, these toxic trolls, these motherfuckers are not even gamers. These dudes just jump online trying to defend and shield and downplay and damage control for Sony all day, every day. That's all the fuck they do. You know what I mean? These fools don't play video games, because if they did, they would be on Xbox. But but they obviously don't. So when they say you know, and these fools like to say that they have all the consoles, like, yeah, sure you do. It's like, because if you did, fool, you'll be playing it instead of being online, running your mouth, not knowing what you're talking about. But anyways, man, that's pretty much my thing on that, man. You know, looking forward, one last subject. This is starting to get a long video, so I'm trying to wrap this up. But y'all know how my discussions are. One last thing would be Game Pass, man, and its impact. I wanted to hit on that, man, because I always been saying this, and I box with fools in the comment boxes all the time, and I've been saying this from a year or more ago, that PlayStation right now is like Blockbuster, and Xbox is like Netflix, and you know, the thing is that dynamic is going to play itself out in this generation. You're going to see this generation be one where you're going to see Xbox being ahead of the curve and just literally curve stomping PS5 when it comes to innovation. And when I say innovation, I just mean the deliveries of which the different verticals that Xbox has to deliver their content. If you look at Xbox now has 3 main verticals, pillars, that they could deliver their product from, which expands their ability to reach different demographics of clientele. So if you look at Xbox, they already had console, now they have PC, and now they have over a 1.3 billion market in mobile devices. That is huge, y'all. That is huge. And I cannot understate how big of a deal that will be in this next generation, especially when we're seeing a lot of games move to the streaming platform. I mean, you got Xbox already on the forefront of the future, and you got PS5, you got Sony trying to play catch up. And I don't think, I know that is not going to boast well for Sony this generation. And you know, you got, it's funny looking at these Sony fanboys, because they love to talk their head. Oh, well, Game Pass, that ain't nothing. That's stupid. This is old games and all this other BS, dumbass talking points that they're talking about. And the funny thing is, as soon as PlayStation even hinted that they may be trying to do something like that, they're all happy, like, oh, well, look, PlayStation's gonna come and get you. Look, Sony's gonna do it too, and it's gonna be better than Game Pass. It's like these motherfuckers are a joke, dog. I'm telling you, they're fucking clowns, man. And it's like, you know, literally, it's like you're dealing with children. You know what I mean? When you're trying to talk to these idiots, like, there is some sensible PlayStation guys, but guess what? Now they're messing with Xbox. Now they're on Xbox saying, I love Game Pass. I love the quick resume feature. And it's just incredible. Like, it's becoming, my PS5 is collecting dust at this point. That's what the legitimate Sony guys are saying. And when I say legitimate, I mean actual people who actually play video games. I'm talking about actual real gamers who just want to play video games. This is the reason why most Xbox guys, I believe, are legitimate real gamers. And to me, a real gamer is a person who literally plays video games and they don't really care necessarily what platform is coming from. If it's a great game, they're going to play it. Case in point, I have a PlayStation. Okay. I haven't gotten a PS. I got a PS4. I don't have a PS5 yet, but I probably won't get one. I'm obviously getting a Series X, and I probably won't get a PS5 until it's on a better deal, because I refuse to pay $500 for a console that's that lacking in power versus a Series X. I just don't see the point. And also, I'm gonna wait till more exclusives come out for the PS5, where I feel it validates my purchase of me buying a PS5. Because right now, why would I buy a PS5 when it doesn't have any of the great exclusives out right now that I would want to play on it? Especially when it's not going to be my primary platform I'm going to play on. That's going to be Xbox, because Game Pass is fire. And since Sony has nothing even close to that, there's no point for me in regards to value for my money to buy a PS5 right now. But guess what? 5-6 years from now, yeah, I think there will be. There will be enough exclusives out for the PS5 that I think would validate that purchase. But guess what? At the end of the day, I'm not saying PS5 is a shit console, it's trash and blah, 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 and all this other shit. I don't believe it isn't. I believe for the PS5, it's a great console for what Sony is and what they are able to do. That's great. But like at the end of the day, it's not the platform I prefer for in general play, because I prefer games that are the best version of those games, which that are multiplats, because most of us are going to be playing multiplats than anything else. Let's keep it real, y'all. And most of all those multiplats are gonna look better on the Series X. So what is the point of getting a PS5 right now? Right? I mean, I just don't really see it until some more exclusives come out that I feel is worth it for me to purchase it. So that's my stance on that, right? As being my primary platform being Xbox, but guess what? I still mess with Sony. All right. So to me, that's a real gamer. Somebody that actually still plays and they actually play the games. They don't say they play the games, they don't play them, And, so that's what I mean by a real gamer, somebody that actually plays games. But going back to what I was saying, man, when it comes to this whole thing, I just think it's Game Pass, I think, is gonna blow everyone away. I mean, who actually tries it? You know what I mean? Anyone I've talked to actually tried it, they love it. It's just like Netflix. I mean, if any of y'all got a Netflix account, how many of y'all straight up deleted your Netflix, or you canceled it and said, I never want to have Netflix again? If you have, you probably one of the very rare people that's had Netflix. I mean, because since I've gotten Netflix years ago, I've never canceled my subscription. Ever. And no one I know has canceled their subscription to Netflix. Why? Because it's just an incredible value. You can't beat the value, right? Like, I don't even have cable TV. And man, I used to be a cable TV